I should be, just want to make sure this is one. Okay, it's working. Now it can't go away. All right, let's talk about quiz 8. All right, quiz 8. There aren't that many questions on quiz 8. No, actually, I don't know why the other class hardly had any. Oh, I know why, because they didn't take the test. All right. Lines 22 and 23. What happened in lines 22 and 23? What happened here? Anyone? Well, in this line, they have a summation. They have a bunch of summations, right? And then in this line, the summations are gone. And this one, 1 to 67 of n, this is a 1 plus 67 and 67. Does that look like something we've seen before? It's a formula, right? For adding up n. And this other one, 3 times 67, that's the sum of 3 67 times. So that's another formula. So these are both formulas. So all I did was use formulas. Okay, so one of the questions was use summation formulas to compute the sum. The fact that Desmos tells you what the sum is isn't what happened from one step to the next. And one step to the next was we use those formulas. Okay, we will be using those formulas for something important. Okay, because you can't, what we're going to be doing is taking the limit as n goes to infinity, the number of rectangles, and we can't do that with the summation. We can't just say an infinite number on the summation. The way we can just put bigger and bigger numbers into Desmos. But what we can do is turn the summations into formulas, and then we can take the limit of those formulas. So that's what that is all about.
But I chose that answer and it gave me, it said that it was wrong.
What answer did you pick? That answer for number 20?
Yeah. Is that the correct answer?
It says it's the correct answer.
I chose it and it said it was wrong. And it's there twice. Like,
okay, well,
that option is there twice.
Ask me after class because, oh, it is there twice.
So maybe, yeah, maybe that has to do with something because it told me it was incorrect. That's the only question I got wrong.
I fixed this. I know I went in and I changed the question, but I don't know if Blackboard fixed it or not. But I know I changed it. So if there's two answers and it marked and it told you that the other one was right, let me know and I'll just change your grade. But honestly, I changed this exact question because it's not supposed to have two answers. I'll tell you what I did. I changed the wrong answer to none of the above, or not the wrong, just the other one. One of them is changed to none of the above now. So none of the above is not the right answer. It virtually is never the right answer, by the way. Unless you know the material really well and you know my typo or whatever, or there's a serious typo or something. If it says none of the above, it probably is not the answer. Okay. Any questions on that? So, Acacia, was it Acacia who asked saying that? Just ask me to look at your test afterwards. Because one guy,
okay,
last class, one guy said, oh, I don't understand this test marked everything wrong. And he literally put in an extra digit in his answer and he didn't see it. The answer was like 14,787 and he had 14,7878. So he just didn't see that he had put in another 8 at the end. Just couldn't see it. So sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's totally the programming. So I'm just saying, okay, here it's, all right, so what was done here? Lines 34, I think this is what they want, 34 and 35. What was done here? There's a function, and then I'm adding up from 0 to 43, that's 44 rectangles, okay, or 44 values. And this is the function evaluated at 44 places. So I'm adding up the function here, 44 times. And then what's this last thing? It's the same as this thing. It's the incremental difference. So it's how much it's changing it's the width. So this guy right here is telling me the heights, and these are telling me the widths. So when you see height times width, you are doing what? Which one of these are you doing? You're using a sum. You're approximating the area. And in this case, it's called a Riemann sum. Maybe you're not familiar with that because I maybe didn't say it. But if you're approximating with sums, that's a Riemann sum. This one right here is find the area under the curve. Because it's not exact, that the area under the curve would imply an exact area. This is an approximate area. It's 44 rectangles. And it's not a particularly good approximation of those 44 rectangles. So, okay. All right. Thank you, Eric. Next one. Another 0%. Okay. What is this? Sum the values. Copy. If I have a decimal thing, I'll put down here. So what they're saying in this problem is add up these values. They're telling you what f of x is. They're saying f of x. They're telling you that's the function, that f of x is x squared plus 2, and they want you to evaluate the function. So let me add a table. Let me put a table in here. And they say start at 0.125, 0.125. And then the next one is going to be 0.25. Okay. Okay. If I just hit enter, it'll just automatically change it by, it'll figure out that it's changing by 0.125. Okay. And if I just keep hitting enter, it'll keep changing it by 0.125. So I'm going to go all the way to 2. How many of these values am I going to add up? I'm starting at 0.125, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's 16 values I'm adding up. So I'm going to need the sum. And I can either go from 1 to 16, or I can go 0 to 15. Okay. Both of those would give me 60. I'm going to take it at 0 to 15. And then I'm going to take the function. I'm going to add it up. So it's going to say evaluate the function at what? Oops, not capital. It's little f. F of what? So I want to start at 0.125. Okay, and then I want the next one's going to be 0.125 later. That's the incremental difference. And then I put an n there. Okay, the problem is, oh, that's it. If I plug in 0, I'm starting at 0.125. If I plug in 15, what am I going to get when I take all of this, copy it, paste it? What happens if I put 15 in there? What do I get? I get 2. Okay, that's where I want to end. So this is exactly what I'm looking for, and that's the answer, 55.375. Oh, it doesn't say that. But there it is, 55.375. Question for you. What did I do? I just added up a bunch of values. I added up these values. Remember, here's the table. I'm adding up these values. I'm adding up 2, 2, 2, 2.25, 2.3. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16, 26, 33, 43, 53 about. What did we say it was? 55. That's pretty good for just estimating it. Okay. There's really no way to check that you're right unless you do something like this. You could try to find the area under the curve, you integrate it. You're going from 0 to 2 of f of x dx. That's not going to give you a good value, gives you 6, but all you have to do to compare it is take the incremental difference and multiply it here, and then you should get answers that are close. There you go, 6.9. Okay, so what we want as an answer is to add up all those black dots. But if you make rectangles out of all those dots and multiply them by the width, which is 0.125, you end up getting 6.9 something something. Okay, that's an approximate area. This is an exact area, 6.666. Okay, so they're close. But otherwise, you have no way of knowing. You could do what I did, though. You can honestly look at this table and just kind of estimate by adding those numbers up. Okay. All right. Any questions on that? Questions? How do you say this? Who's going to say this from home? Who can I call on from home? Pam. Oh. Pam, you wanted me to call on you at home. Could you say that? What that says?
Okay. I don't know how, but the integral f of
That's the sum.
oh the
The sum-
integral the sum.
This is the sum. The little jaggedy thing is the sum. The smooth
Okay.
one is. But it said the same way. I mean, it's after that, it said very similar. So say the sum.
The sum of f of 1 plus 2n. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, so first of all, it's the sum.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the limits next. So I'd say the sum is n goes from 1 to 100. Just so the integral is the same way. I'd say the integral from 1 to 100. This is the sum from 1 to 100. And then I'd say of.
Okay.
Then I'd say f.
Mm-hmm.
And then make sure you say it this way: f of the quantity 1 plus 2 and quantity times 2.
Times 2. Okay.
Okay, the quantity thing, you have to say though, if you say f of 1 plus 2n times 2, it's very ambiguous who's getting the 2. But by saying f of the quantity 1 plus 2n, that's n quantity, you're saying f of all that stuff times 2. And it doesn't matter if the 2 is inside or outside. Let's see, is that what the answer says? The sum from n equals 1 to 100 of the function of 1 plus 100th n times 100. Is that 100? That's not right. That's wrong. So this is
that. I tried to get it. I know that. I know this is wrong.
right. It's wrong because it looks like which one is times 2 at the end? It's 100. Oh, here it is. The sum, this was right. The sum from n equals 1 to 100 of the function of the quantity 1 plus 2n. So it should be an n quantity there, but it's this just was old times 2. So this is what you said. That's the wrong answer. So who was that? You, Eric, who got this one marked wrong? Tell me. Send me an email and make me fix it. That is so wrong. Send me an email because I won't remember, and then you don't have to redo that question. Here's another one. Maybe this one's wrong too. Let's see. It's the f of the quantity 1 minus 2n. Here it is. The sum n equals 1 to 100 of the function of the quantity 1 plus 2n. Yeah, that's all this is. There's no times 2. Okay. But that's correct. That one's correct. Somebody missed it though. Somebody picked this one. Yeah, it's not that one.
So n equals to 1 by 1.
What?
Become the bottom and it's just 1 by 1.
N can start at anything. Say n equals 10, n equals 0, equals whatever. But it always goes, when you're adding up terms, it's always increasing by 1. So if you want to increase by an 1/8 or a 1/10, you have to multiply it by what's inside. So the n is inside here. If you wanted this to go up by an 1/8, you would put 2 times an eighth n. So that way n's still going up by 1, but because you're multiplying it by an eighth, it's going 1/8, 2/8, 3/8.
Like as you read it, yeah, like that. So it's probably one. I was reading it for a while.
Wait.
The N was going up, which it kind of is, but it's also just going.
It grows, yeah, well,
But like the function makes it, but like still it's only I going up.
I mean, when I do this, the first thing I'm gonna do is f of -1 plus f of -3 plus f of -4 plus f of -5. And the last one I'm gonna put in there is f of -199. So I'm adding up the function evaluated at those odd numbers. It's 1 minus 2n is going to give you an odd number, always. Okay. What are the two types of integrals? What do they tell you? So what do the two types of integrals tell you? Well, the two types of integrals are definite and indefinite integrals, and they tell you area and antiderivative. Okay. Not bad. 2/3 of you got this. 1/3 of you picked the definite. Didn't read that it says two types of integral. What do they tell you? Not what are they? Okay, looking at lines 4 and 5 only. 4 and 5. What's going on here? All right, what's going on here? Anybody? I see the summation. I know it's 33,511. Now I see it again, but it's equal to something else. What is this? Where'd this come from? Anyone? So this is a summation sign, but and it adds up to 46 and it gives you a number. But this right here, the stuff in the blue has no summation. It's almost like it was answered. In fact, let me copy that and see if that really is 35 or 33. Yeah, that's 33,511. But what is this? What if that weren't 46? What if it were, I don't know, 460? That's a really big number. Okay, but 460 in here. 0, then I put 460 here, 460 here, 460 here. So that would be 460 here, 460 here, 460 here. Are they the same big number? Yes, they are. 32,551,210. So what is this then? This is just a formula for adding up n squared. Put any number, you put any number up there, you can replace all those numbers that say 460 with whatever number you put in there. So this is using formulas to solve. So if you look at it, it says use summation formula to solve. And that was the correct answer, and 2 people got it. And nobody felt for the dummy one that was wrong. Okay, but that's 100%. So everything else on this test is 100%, so I don't have to go over it. Although honestly, I don't know how many people did this test. How many people did this test? Yeah, you don't count, Christian. Sorry, you're in a different class. Anyone do this test in this class besides Eric? Eric, did you do this test?
Yes, I did.
Oh, and Selena did the test. Okay. I really feel like only 2 people took it, but that could be wrong. Okay, when can we have negative area? When the graph is, when the function is below the axis. Here's another, so let me say this. Oops. Okay, I'm kind of done with this. Any questions on quiz 8? It's due, when is it due? Tonight at midnight? You still have time to do it? It says 5 people took it. Okay? And there's a lot more than 5 people in the class, so take it. Go home and take it. Any other things about mod 8? How about mod 9, integration? Right, were there any questions about integration? Okay, did anyone do quiz 9? Oh, I don't even want to look. Hold on, I'm going to look a different way. It's going to require that you guys don't look at the screen. Oh, you know what I can do? Keep looking at the screen. Look at the screen. Don't take your eyes off the screen.
I didn't.
It's not due until Tuesday. Even though this mod 9 is due today. Okay. So Alicia, Acacia, Eric, Aiden. Aiden. Who is Aiden? You took it. Took quiz 8, you didn't take quiz 9. Selena took 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. And I only see 2 proposals, one from Eric, who proposed, Eric proposed. I don't see anything. Oh, there's 3. Jonathan proposed something. I don't like your topic, Eric. This isn't Newton's method is not really a thing that you would want to collect data from. Okay. So I would stay away from that topic. It's not real life. It's very math. Yeah, but I wouldn't do it. I mean, you could collect data on what people use as initial guesses for Newton's method, but I honestly am not sure that that's exciting. What's your major, Eric? What do you want to study? Are you there? Anyway, I'm reading Selena. Selena, your AI generated thing, which I'm sure is AI generated, does not all it takes is one person to do an AI generated thing, and then everyone thinks theirs has to be AI generated and fancy. All I need to know is what the X and Y values are. And the X value, it's the distance from the goal, and the Y value will be the goal scoring efficiency. So if you're a certain distance away, you have a certain efficiency. Just to make sure, Selena, just to make sure that it's not linear. This has to be real data. And it can't be, I'm 1 foot away, I got 100% of my shots. I'm 2 foot away, I get 90% of my shots. I'm 3 foot away, I get 70%. It can't drop linearly or you've got nothing.
Okay.
So get your data together and just tell me what the X and Y values are. It wasn't wrong to use AI, it's just not, it's too much, more than I want. For my project, I'm explaining the average price of new cars from 2000, X would be the years, and Y would be the price. And says, okay, the price of new cars. Jonathan, did you Google that?
I didn't Google it yet, but I don't think it'd be too hard to find.
Here's my problem. So you're going to have a problem because it's going to say the average new car price. Okay. So maybe you want to do the average new car price in the last 10 years. And
Okay.
here- So, but then look, now you have to decide on what manufacturer. Oh, they do have the industry average price. So maybe for all cars, the average price is, oh, look, here's the average car price. There's inflation. Okay, so you want this data, wherever it is, that's what you're looking for. All right, fine. You're getting a new car, Jonathan?
No more this year.
You get a new car?
I've had 3 new cars this year, so I need to pull it back.
Wow. Must be nice. I have 3 cars. They're all the cars that I've had since 1999. So, I don't have any new cars. 2 of my cars are antiques.
Good for you.
No, it's not good for me. I brought the one car into the shop today, the newest one, that is already 6 years old. And wasn't great. So that's my newest car, 6 years old. I can't get new cars. I'm kind of a grumpy old man. Stick with my cars. I'd love to get rid of my 99 car, but nobody wants it. During the pandemic, there was some interest in it, but nobody actually did anything about it. So anyway, enough about me. So post your topics because I need to approve them. I don't want you working on a topic until I say it's okay. Because if you're like Selena's probably going to be okay, Jonathan's probably going to be okay, but Eric's I'm not going to get. So if Eric wants to actually do that topic, he's going to have to give me data. And that's what I'll say. But this posting will stay open for quite a while. It's not necessarily due. You can change your mind. You could do half the project and decide, I don't want to do this. It's not working. And then go back and start over and do something else. Okay? Any questions? All right, get out of here. Okay, so we were up to mod 9. Oh, and I said nobody took quiz 9, so there's nothing for me to go over because like, let's try quiz 9 with that. I'll take it. Y'all getting a quiz, prize pop quiz on 9. Who wants the first question? Sight unseen. First come, first. So everyone's going to get it. I'm just going to come right back in until everybody has taken a quiz question. So, first ones are usually easy. Pam, you want the first one? You're picking on me again. Okay, not Pam.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay, Pam, this is the first one. Where can we have negative area? It's not, let's see what it's, I'll start at the bottom. Area and antiderivative, it is not.
Yeah, it's not that.
Rates, definite integral, and difference of indefinite integrals relates, that sounds like fundamental theorem, it's not that. Divides the area into under the curve by the length. I don't know. Definite and indefinite, those are the 2 types of integrals. Fundamental theorem of calculus, definite integral or infinite or many rectangles. Sounds like finding the area. And what's the first one say?
When the graph is below the x-axis.
Does that give you negative area if the graph falls below the x-axis?
Yeah,
That's it.
cool.
Okay, number 2. Okay, who wants to say this? Oh, I'm supposed to ask ahead of time. Who wants number 2? Selena, do number 2.
Okay. So would you do the integral? Well, no, the derivative of the integral from 0 to x.
No. It's the other way around. It's the integral from 0 to x of the
Of the
derivative.
derivative, yes. Sorry. Of the derivative
evaluated at t
Mhm.
equals the integral from 0 to 1 of the derivative evaluated at t again,
Mhm.
plus the integral from 1 to x of the derivative.
Mhm. Now, they don't say derivative because that's just the function that's inside. So it's the integral from 0 to x of the derivative function is the sum integral from 1 to x. Oh, that must be this one then. Integral from 0 to x of the derivative of the given of the function is the sum from 1 to x. Oh, ours is from 0 to x. So it's not that. Which one is it? Is it none of these? I said just thought none
The
of these.
third one,
The integral from 0 to x of the derivative of the given function of t is the sum of the integral. We go from 0 to 1 and integral from 1 to x. Yes, that's it. Very good. All right, next one. Oh, what happened here? Who wants to do the what happens here before I call on you, Acacia? You want to do it? Or
Uh,
somebody else?
I don't know. I don't know that.
Those are your worst ones. How about Slade then? Slade, tell me what happens in line 14 and 15. What happened here? Ooh, okay. So this is an integral.
Yeah.
What's the capital F mean? What's a capital F mean in integration? Remember, the little f meant the function, the capital F meant the
Derivative.
antiderivative. So now, which of these are we using integral properties? Are we, wait, I have to go to the bottom. Find the area using fundamental theorem of calculus. Use geometry to find the area. Find the position function of velocity. Find the average value. Find the area of the shaded region. Use integral properties. Okay, so let's talk about, I'm going from the bottom up. Integral properties, no. What? What up? Oh, sure. Yeah, the grade book was right back there. Did you see it? It's right behind you. All I did was switch it to the back so I could see the grade book without you seeing it. You guys just remember I said, look at this screen. It was blue. I said I want you to turn around and look at the screen with all the grades on it. They were paused. I hope they were paused. Maybe they weren't. All right, sorry. All right, questions. Integral property, use the integral properties, find the area of the shaded region. Which one is it? So it's not using the integral properties because those are things like break up the integrals or use one of those integral properties like the antiderivative or something. So no. Find the area of a shaded region. There's no area. There's no shaded region. No. Find the average value of the function. The average value is a specific formula that looks like the average rate of change. No, not that one. Position, velocity, acceleration, there was no S or V or A, so no. Using geometry to find the geometry would be like if there was if you were using rectangles or finding the area of a circle or something. So it's not that. So it must be this one, the fundamental theorem. What was the fundamental theorem of calculus? That's the one that related the integral, the definite integral to the indefinite integral, and that's what this is. So this must be the fundamental theorem of calculus. Okay. Must be. We'll see if we're right. Okay. Who wants to do this one? Position. Oh, this is the position velocity acceleration one. Slade Luke. Find the position given this information. Okay. I'm going to help you with it by, there's no decimal thing here, so let's do it here. Use this one. Okay. Okay, so let's. make this smaller. Okay, I have no idea what's going on here. Hold on. Where's my command line? What is going on here? Yeah, killing me. You're gone. I don't need that crap in my life. All right, whatever. They're giving you the acceleration. Luke, are you with me here? Giving you the
Yeah, I'm here.
acceleration. A of t equals 9 minus t. Okay, that's the acceleration. What do they ask for? Find the position. So they want the position, but what can we find? What's the relationship between position, velocity, and acceleration? What is the relationship? I know I've asked this question several times before when I asked you guys questions. So what's the relationship between position, velocity, and acceleration? Anyone?
Well, velocity is the first derivative, acceleration is the second.
Of position. What is this relationship to acceleration? Since it's acceleration is the derivative of that, what you need to do is find the antiderivative to go backwards from acceleration. To understand, to get velocity from acceleration, you're going to antiderivative. Okay, so what's the antiderivative of this going to be? Fine. Do I have to make it bigger? I feel like I do. Okay. Here we go. So I have 9 minus t is the acceleration. So I'll put that right in here. Okay, so with Luke. What's the antiderivative of 9 minus t? Okay. Well, what happens if you take the derivative of 9? The power goes down, you end up with 0. Antiderivative brings the power up. So what's the antiderivative of 9? Bring a power up, you would have to have something like 9t. Okay? So what's the antiderivative of t? If you took the derivative, it would be the power t to the first would come t to the 0. But instead, you wanted to go from 1 to 2. There's something you have to do with antiderivatives. If you raise it up by a power, you also have to do what? Anyone? Luke, what do I have to do? If I raise it by a power to get the antiderivative, I have to divide it by that power. See, if I take the derivative of t squared, what am I going to get? 2t. And that 2 will cancel with this 2. And that's why you have to divide them. That this number cancels with that number, and you don't have any 2 at all. Okay? That's the position. Now, how do I get, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not done. Plus what? When you're doing the antiderivative, what's always left over? Plus what? Plus- What did you say, Eric?
11. I typed it in the chat.
Okay, it's a constant, but you looked at the problem and you said b of 0 is 11. So that's correct. It's 11. Okay. Why is it 11? Because if I plug 0 in, let me just take this here. If I plug 0 in, if I plug in 0, I get 9 times 0 is 0, minus 0, which is 0, plus the constant is c. So that's just equal to c. So now we know that c is 4. Just the constant equals, not 4, 11. So the constant is 11. So there we go. Now, how do I get position? I have to do what? Position is the derivative or antiderivative of velocity? The antiderivative of velocity. So let's just put this here. Okay, so what's the antiderivative? Luke, you want to help me with this one now? I can't
Yeah,
hear.
which one?
Okay, I need the antiderivative. I need this antiderivative. S of t equals, what's the antiderivative of 9t? 9 what?
T squared over 2.
It is 9 t squared over 2. Very good. The next one, I'm gonna pick on somebody else to do. How about Alicia, did I get you? I don't think I had Alicia. What's the antiderivative of t squared over 2?
2t squared.
No, you're doing the derivative. Or not, I don't know what you're doing. It's t to the what power? You have to add a power, so it's t to the what?
To the either the fourth
3
or third.
all over what? There is a 2 already there, but you have to also do a 3. So 3 times 3. All right. Alicia, what's the antiderivative of 11?
11 to the second power. Or
Oh,
is it going to be 11t?
11. Plus what's missing? Constant. All right, Eric, what is that constant? Since you got the last one, I know you know what this one is. What's the constant, Eric? So I got 9t squared over 2 minus t cubed over 6 plus 11t plus what number? Plus what? What is s of 0 equal to? If I plug 0 in there, hold on, let me just copy this over. Since Eric's not answering me, he probably walked away. Did you walk away? Probably walked. Put a 0 here. 9 times 2. So if I plug a 0 in there, that becomes 0. If I plug a 0 in there, that becomes 0. If I plug a 0 in there, that becomes 0. So I just get C equals what? When I plug S of 0, and why did I plug S of 0? Because what does it say right here? S of 0 equals 20. C equals 20. Okay? So the answer, so I have the position function is all of this plus 20. Okay, now what do they ask you to find S of 1? Okay, you can't find S because there's too many things called S. So let me just name this something. There we go. It's 35 and a third. Go to 2 decimal places. Okay. I can just add up all those coefficients too. That's another way to it. All right. Next one. Okay, Desmos worksheet. Use the integral to find the average distance from home between hours 5 and hour 13. Who wants to do this one? I'm asking for volunteers. Who haven't I heard from yet? I heard from Akeisha, Slade, Jonathan, Alicia, Eric. I heard from everybody at home. That leaves me one person in class 8 for Sebastian. Sebastian. From you at all. What do I do here to find the average? Oh, look at this. This one's really hard because it doesn't have the average formula. It doesn't have it in here. How do I find the average value between, what are the numbers they want to qualify? Use the integral to find the average distance from the home between hour 5 and hour 13. Okay. Average distance. So what do?
Yeah, so find the distances from both. Fine.
The distances are all the F values. I want the average distance. So I have to, do you remember the average value formula? Looked a lot like, remember the average rate of change formula? Rate of change formula, well, it's this. What's it, 13? F of 5. All over 13 minus 5. That's the average rate of change formula. Now this right here, fundamental theorem of calculus, says that that can be represented by the integral from what to what. So capital F could just be the integral of little f of x dx, going from where to where?
Or 13 out of 5.
Yeah, so you would put that, you would put, which one goes on the bottom? 13 or 5?
13.
Or did the higher one usually goes on top. Okay, so there I have an answer. That's the average value, 546.52. I don't know if it's right. Let's see. How did we do on this quiz? Correct. All correct. We win. Okay. Did everyone get a chance to do one of these problems? And you do this quiz at home, do all these problems? Any other questions on this? So that was quiz 9. That's due on Tuesday. What also is due on Tuesday? It's the group work. Did you do your group work? Well, let's do that now. We didn't do group work last time, did we? No, you guys weren't here. So the group work that's due on week 9 is it's the area and average value. So let me just show you how easy this is. This is pretty easy. There's some tricky things with it though. So mine is distance and time. One of the things I'm going to want to do is move this A and B down. I'm going to move it down just here. What the heck? Uh-oh. Shoot, the one inside there. Okay, then I'm going to click on this and I want that area right there. That's the area I'm looking for. All I had to do is click here. Are y'all paying attention? All I had to do is click on that circle. Jonathan, how did I get this? I clicked on the circle. Then when I open up the folder. Okay, there's my A1, B1, by the way. That's good to know. Let me move it up a little higher here. A1. B1. So moving around the A1, B1 isn't that easy, but so it tells me that that area right there is 10,800 between 0 and 20. And the average value between 0 and 20 is 540. This is what I need to post. Producers, this is what you're producing. A picture of the graph and these lines. Okay, what are the writers going to do? The writers going to take exactly what you see on the screen, and they're going to put in the 0 and the 20, 0 and the 20, and they're going to do this. And then you know what else they're going to do? They're not going to just leave it this way. They're going to say equals 10,800. And then what is this? The units there are mile times hours. Those are mile hours because the units are miles. You multiply them together. This one right here, it's going to be 540, just the Y units, no X units. So it's Y and X units multiplied together for that one. So that's what the writers are going to do. And then the speakers are going to say, according to the Courtic regression between 0 and 20 hours of travel, there was 10,800 mile hours. That makes no sense. And so that represented an average distance of 540 miles away from home. That does make sense. If you're out traveling and you're an average of 540 miles away from home, that tells you something. It means that you're mostly 500 miles away from home. That means if you were 100 miles away from home for some time, you were then like 900 miles away from home other times. Okay? Can you guys break up into your groups and post these things for me? I got 10 people at home. How many groups do I have in this class? 4?
Professor,
Yes, three.
2 of the kids that are in my group are 2 kids that withdrew from the class. So there's only 2 people in our group now.
Just you and who?
Just
You
me
and-
and Selena now.
She's here. She was here.
I am.
Oh, she's
So we'll
here.
just split all the work between us 2.
Yeah, no. One of you produce and the other one speak. I like producers and I like speakers. That's what I need. It's a producer and a speaker. Okay?
Right.
And what room we guys were in? Do you know what room we were in?
Professor, for the slider, do we have to use 0 and 20, or do we choose a number that we used the last time?
Use the numbers that are already there. Use whatever number. There should be the numbers you've been using all along for A1 and B1. Don't change them. You can change them if you want. I don't care. Just make sure I know what they are. Okay. I only see 2 people in rooms. Slade. Selena, I'm going to move you into room 1 because that's where Slade is. There you go. Akeisha and Jonathan are in room 2. Alicia and Luke are in room 3. Pam, Eric, where do you guys go? Room 3?
I'm room 4 with
4?
Luke and Alicia.
Okay, off you go. Sebastian, what room are you in? 3? Why are you even going in there? There's nobody in there. Is Eric in room 3? Sure. Oh, Eric is in your room? There you go. Should have been joined 3. Okay. Let's get these things posted. Post these things and get them done, and then we can go. I don't have anything else to do. What happened to Aiden? He just abandoned you? He didn't leave, did he? He took all his stuff. Oh, he moved his stuff. I didn't think. Okay. All right. Raise your hand if you need me. I'm joining you back here. I have to give a talk next Friday. So I said I was gonna do project-based stuff, which is what this is. It's your project you're working on. And you're doing it collaboratively, and then you present, and you have a discussion, and then, you know. That was what I wanted to get my talk on. It's at a distance learning point, so I wanted to talk about this. And how, what's, for example, like what you're doing, you're like the liaison between the people who are at home. But it's mixed, it's a high flex class, so it's different. Not too many people do this. Not many people do breakout rooms. And then have people in different places. So it's kind of, how do you feel about that? What can I report to the people at this conference?
I mean, it makes group work really easy. Because like I can just boot up Zoom in the middle to like speak or anything. I can just type everything. But like people can do it from their home or like actually be here depending on their style that I like.
So you find it interesting?
Yeah, I mean, like, I personally prefer kind of paper, but I just, at home, when I'm studying, I just open the video that you post, or like a VOD or whatever. And then I just write down everything, like the examples, I listen to the things at work. So that way I can, it helps me memorize and I get that muscle memory.
So you like the video, but you watch my videos, so you like the videos. You always watch the videos.
Yeah, the videos help a lot.
The ones, the live stream videos, watch them. It's good. What about, so here's the thing about, so thank you, that's helpful. So it turned out when I wrote my proposal, I also added interview style testing. When they posted the ad for it, they made it seem like I was gonna spend equal amounts of time on project lead, which is what this is. And the test that you take, which is interview style, that's unusual too. You've never had that before, have you? Okay, so okay, so you've taken on the two tests. How do you feel about this interview style testing?
I mean, I felt like it was good. There were some issues, but I feel like it was more analog based than anything else. Like, I did so many issues with analog.
Issues with audio.
Yeah,
Oh,
like it kept like not letting me open links, or then like it would say like I didn't take a picture correctly of my ID, and that would all add up, and then like.
Okay, that's analog. That not everybody at this point, but a bunch of people at this point. But because of the interview style testing, actually it turns out to be okay. No matter what crap happens, its questions are in order. I had a few people get kicked out during the test.
Yeah,
And I just resumed the test when they left off, so. Or I couldn't resume that test, but I opened up another test and said, just start the question over.
but something
Kick you out. That sucks.
yeah, you can sound first.
It does weird shit. Yeah, I can't control the world.
Yeah.
But I like it, so here's one of the things I like about the interview style testing is. First thing is, so there's an old style of teaching that's called the buffet approach. Which is to not just do one type, like normal math classes are just, I give you problems and you solve the problems. But you have these other things, you have vocabulary, you have reading, you have what's going on with the reading comprehension, like you have these various things, and you have this group of stuff all in the test, which I then test you on. But I prepare you, I'm my goal, this all this stuff in class is to prepare you for the interview style test by doing those sorts of questions in class. And do you think that the class work prepares you for the test?
It really does, especially when you have like examples that we need to say, because sometimes like I don't know how. To like form like equation or something, and then like saying it out loud or hearing someone like actually speak it helps.
Right, so I think that it takes away a normal math class, which is we all solve problems. I feel like these other things actually give you a chance to show some of your other proficiencies, but it also means more work for you. Some people who are used to traditional, like just solve the problems, just memorize the problems, but you just do what problems, but having to memorize vocabulary, trying to speak it out, everything. Now you know what the regular speakers do, that's a lot more, but it's not difficult. I don't think.
I feel like for the first like 2-3 days it was a little hard because it was something new, but like now that I can on the hang of it. I'm good.
Okay.
I think well,
This.
yeah,
It was totally different.
it was more of like the funny, song. I mean, they both have their ups and downs, I guess. I think the homework one, like I mean, for one, it gets kind of like monotonous. So at a certain point, it's kind of problematic.
That's a good, that's good to add.
But and I don't know, the way I feel about it with this class, like if you want to do that, you do still have those available, like you have the homework, and you can do the homework problem. Or you can just go online and just Google and summation problems or something, so you can still do that if you want. whether or not people need to be forced to do it, maybe that helps some people. If it doesn't,
Well,
I
I
don't.
forced it, the math department tells me what I have to put in the course, so I have, that's why they're there.
Oh, no, I just mean like to plug out route, like maybe some people. Would benefit from like having to be assigned the homework to do, or maybe some people wouldn't, I don't know.
I thought about that. I could make, but we have quizzes, I could make I'm gonna make homework.
Yeah. I don't know if that would help or maybe hard or something, I think it just depends on the person.
I feel like the quizzes are enough because. Yeah, there's some that like you don't do as many questions, but they cover the entire thing we covered, which help. And then if someone doesn't get that, they always have those number of references to it.
And usually the quizzes ended up being like the homework for me, because I would like, wouldn't get like the best grade the first couple times and I'd do it, yeah, so it's kind of ended up being the same. deal.
It's, I, in my mind, I color graded homework.
Yeah,
Those things I call business for you to scare you. Because business,
yeah,
scarier than graded homework, but graded homework is what that is.
yeah, because you definitely do have to work through some of it, like you definitely. I have to get it wrong, that's one thing I didn't do the first time I was there, but like you do have to kind of get it wrong a few times, and then get it, like, figure out. Get it right, but. Overall,
I just have to, I was just telling you, I just have to comment on this course next week, I'm giving a talk. And I was to talk about project-based learning. But it ended up, it's gonna end up being talking about interview style testing, because the way they advertised it makes it sound like all I'm gonna talk about is, like, we're gonna talk about that equally. In a remote environment, this is high flat, what we're doing here is high flat.
that's also like my first class since like Zoom learning. And that's a lot. That's shaped like it's very different to see just like the. I mean, it's funny though, because it's like math class, so the level of interaction is the same. But because people aren't actually there, it feels different, but like when I think about it, like even though people were always there in a real math class, still it was like nobody was saying anything, it was just the teacher.
And now I don't, I can't, I call on you, I have the times when I call on you. And with remote classes, I do a lot more than I do the high flex.
Yeah, probably.
But not the online, I can't do anything on the online, but with remote classes, I'm constantly calling on people to
Yeah.
keep it. And I do it in the beginning, but this class is a little awkward because it's not advertised as high flex. So I have a lot of people who want to be here. No,
Oh, it's
You
high
do
flex
it.
like a hybrid.
high flex means there are people here and people at home at the same time. Remote is just everybody's at home, including me. I love that.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. And with those classes, I'm constantly calling on them and keeping it engaged and turning the videos on. But the remote classes, I like. They made me come back to campus, and it's not that I don't like you. I don't. This is exactly what happens when I do high flex. You guys come. Maybe one less, nobody came.
Yeah.
There was nobody here, and I didn't tell you guys not to come. The other class, nobody came, but I had certainly told them not to come.
Yeah.
You guys, nobody came, and I was like, oh, so I come here and I teach in empty rooms. And it's just, I should be at home.
Yeah.
To come, just. And it works better if we all know we're at home. We all have this way we can set up. I can do the group work easier. You don't have to log on. Just everyone's already logged on, so I just.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I find that the school doesn't want me to do remote. They want me to do high flex, and I like high flex. I wish they all did high flex, but they're not doing high flex either. I've been doing high flex for like 7 years now, long before COVID. Anyway, it didn't have a name 7 years, so I just did it. I didn't want people who were sick to come to class. Just like you, home. And I didn't have Desmos 7 years ago. I used a smartboard like that thing, but it was not as nice as that.
Yeah, I think the first thing I used here when I do was like math ladder Maple.
Oh, neat. I was more fun. You can't go make
But I'm glad we're not doing that because I felt like that was kind of distracted from the math of it because you had to kind of learn a whole other thing. Like that was a whole nother
But
thing.
Desmos is not a whole lot.
Yeah, it does mostly more just the math.
It looks like with
I mean, it
Maple,
could
it's
be.
programming code.
Yeah, yeah.
It is. This is not programming code, it's just you try to what you see, it's like WYSIWYG, do you remember what that was?
No.
WYSIWYG is what you see is what you get.
Oh,
It's a term that, because before we had, okay, now I'm getting old. Before there were good computers like you see now, which is what you see is what you get.
yeah.
There were like command lines and you had sort of, you couldn't
And
see
like
stuff.
shell, yeah.
You really would program stuff and you didn't ever see what it looked like. You just saw your command line and then an answer would pop up, it wouldn't say the integral, but it would be like. Then you would like basically have to type the code in. And then later on, it was like what you see as you get it, there's a folder in there, there's a folder there, if you click on it, there's a file there, but you had to.
It's kind of like the shell.
Yeah.
Shell or like little command.
Well, with you, I remember with Unix, I learned the old way, so I used to use Unix. I used to know how to break into the school computers because the school programmers here didn't know enough and I did. So I could search the directories because I knew what the commands were in Unix to look at the directories, but nobody else knew. I mean, everyone expected to see their little files. But if you want to go up to where the files are, you can leave by using the command code, using command line codes and stuff.
The kid, when I was in high school, like, young, like middle school, and he had figured out how to, that all the schools in the computer were also connected to like some of the municipal buildings. So he figured out that you could shut them all off, and so he shut them all off, like all the computers in the police station, the library, they all went off.
Some kid figured out how to do it.
Like a seventh grader.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of bad.
One time I went to a training session and I got the woman gave us a handout and it said, here's the username and password. So I went in and I changed the password because so I thought it was my username and password. Anyway, it was the system username and password. And by changing the password, I locked every single person using the program out for whatever, the 10 minutes before the instructor started freaking out because the system password had been changed. She was like, I don't understand why it's not working. And I was like, oh, oops, sorry. I changed it back. I mean, it was printed what it was, so I knew what the password was, but I changed it back. And it was just funny. She was freaking out. I don't think she ever liked me after that. That's okay. I was never a good student. All right, nobody's saying anything. You guys know what you're doing. Try to do what you're doing. But thanks for that feedback, Sebastian. I appreciate it. Christian, are you there?
Yes. About mod 9.
Guys, good. Did you post?
Yeah, I accidentally did mod 10, then I realized that I went ahead of by accident, so I went back and did mod 9. But I have them both posted, so it
Okay.
works.
Okay.
Oh, you did, different thing.
So now you can just, I usually don't have 10 open. One minute. 1 minute. Okay, I'm still sharing now.
But they're busy. Starting. But it felt some racing development. But it's cold. He's been on the track. Yeah, but that might be my own big.
Hello, are we back yet? I don't see every post, so let me see. Area average value. I see a post from Acacia, Alicia, Sebastian, and Slate. Okay, they're all there? All right. And you guys did, I saw that Acacia had, you have one person, other person, then just have them do the speaking. And again, you don't have to comment on everything. The average grade is fine. Just make sure that you're saying between the two things and what regression you're using. It fine. Okay, let's see. It wasn't Slade, it was,
Yeah.
hold on, it was this one. So yeah, Pam did perfect. She wrote that, she actually, it looks like, Pam, did you take an image from, take an image from Blackboard and post it just like the producer does, and then just add on the units?
No, I did the equation editor thing, so that's how it.
The equation editor does the weird thing. Okay, that's great. It's fine. And then Luke said in words, according to the credit regression between the 2 years, there's an average of 5.7 billion people. Don't say per year. That sounds like a rate. So take that per year out. Okay, it's a value we're getting, not a rate. Okay, all right. So the posts look good. Is there anything else that I need to go over? I don't think so. Lost the thing. So you're ready for mod 9. You're gonna take quiz 9, it's due on Tuesday. Okay. Mod 10. I don't know if you noticed, I already opened up mod 10. So you can start working on mod 10 whenever you want, wherever mod 10 is. Okay. Now, I want you to, after mod 10, it gets a little fuzzy. So it's 11, 12, and 13. There are no more quizzes after mod 10. Okay. There are 3 big things coming after mod 10. There's integrals test, which is just practice. So I have to grade them by hand, so they probably aren't, it's probably not going to happen. So you're just going to be I'm just going to give it to you to study from. The second thing is you have your project to do, which is I've already seen some proposals, but I expect to see full proposals, and you're going to do that whole worksheet. And then I will talk to you when we get to mod 11, 10, 11, 12, and 13. I will talk to you about what you're going to produce from the worksheet. But that if you have the worksheet done, you're in really good shape. There isn't much more to do than the worksheet. Okay, and then you have to find. Okay. Any questions on this? Okay.
So
The worksheet is what you're working from right now for your group work. You're just doing it. You're going to get a blank one and you're going to start from beginning to end. Okay. Actually, what I would recommend you do is use the example one and just change the things. Change the data, change the numbers, and then you'll know what you have to submit, all the writers and speakers, and pretty much what has to be said in them. Okay. Any other questions on this? All right. I have one more. So the one thing I want to talk to, I talked to some of the kids here. None of you are kids, but I have to give a talk next Friday at some distance learning conference. And I just want to get some feedback from you that I can pass along to these people, because I don't know if I'll be doing this anymore. So I was going to wait until I gave this talk to determine whether I was going to do this anymore, but I think I'm not going to do this anymore. But I'm going to present it anyway. And the way they presented it, I was supposed to just do project-based learning. I was going to talk about the project that you guys are doing and the discussions we do every week. And I think I have a lot of data on that. The only thing I was going to add is the fact that we have groups that are separated. So, for example, Jonathan, you've worked with me before, and you've seen this where we have groups in person and not in person. And I think it's okay. I think it works fine to have groups not in person. What do you think?
Yeah, I do. I think it's good to have the flexibility because sometimes, people can't make it to class, and instead of the whole group being out of luck, that person can just log in from home.
Right. Yeah. I like that, and I want other people to do that. I don't think a lot of people use project-based teaching. You haven't, other than my classes, have you guys ever worked in groups on anything like this before, where you have a project that you're working on as a group and then you work on it individually? Nothing like that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. It's different. Okay. But the other thing, so what they did was they said that so in their little blurb, they said I was going to cover project-based learning, which is what I wanted to do. But they made it seem like I'm spending an equal amount of time talking about interview style testing, which is what our testing is. And it's actually more than just our testing. It's the class, in order to prepare you for the exams that are interview style, I feel that you need that the whole course has to be set up that way. So I have in each module, I have the vocabulary and the reading comprehension. So I have all of this stuff. The question I have for you is, do you think that what I do in this class prepares you for an interview style exam? Anyone have an opinion on this? Is there something that could be done better or worse? Again, I'm not going to make any changes for what I'm doing, but when I present it, I will present your opinion. Like, some people like more writing and stuff, and I definitely don't encourage a lot of writing. I like speaking, even though it's harder for me to read. Anybody? Luke? Acacia, was the test, were you prepared for the test? Are you looking, is the final going to be difficult for you? Or do you think it'll be okay?
It will be difficult.
It will be?
Yeah, but it will be difficult, but I'm not really worried because you record all the classes, so I have YouTube to go back to if I don't remember something. Yeah.
And so you also use the live streaming stuff that I record?
Yeah, I do.
Good. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is, this is an old terminology. It's called a buffet of teaching and learning. Is to have lots of different types of problems. I feel like when I've taught math before, all I ever did was give problems. Like it was all just, here's an equation, solve it. And now with this, I'm doing all those things with the vocabulary and the reading. I kind of like it. What do you guys think? I mean, I feel like, let me just tell you why I like it. I think it gives you an opportunity to shine in some other area. Instead of just memorizing how to solve problems, you can also know vocabulary, you also know reading. Like there's other skills besides just solving problems. So I kind of feel like I get a better idea that you know some stuff if I ask you lots of different types of things. But it's also lots of different types of things. So what do you guys think? Have an
I
opinion on it?
personally appreciate the vocabulary and the speaking questions because I'm not the best at problem solving. So I really like those types of questions. And I also enjoy when you go over the quizzes and the types of questions during class because it really helps to see like what to expect on the exam and what type of questions we need to look out for.
All right, good. That's good feedback. And that's good advice. Honestly, with teachers, it's good to know what they're doing, that they're going to put stuff on the test. They all do it too. I should say they all do it. There's some people that put questions on that are from nowhere, but most of them tell you what they think is important during the class. All right. Well, I don't have anything else. If you have any other feedback you want to share with me, I'm not giving a talk until next Friday, but I am working on it this weekend. But if you guys have anything you want to add about this class, that again, it's not so much for me because as I said, I'm just passing this information on to other people who might want to do it. And if you have some warning, I know some people like paper and I don't like paper. But you could still do this course with paper. I'm not a big fan of paper. I like Desmos. Because my handwriting is sloppy. If you've ever seen my handwriting on my notes, you'll see that it's pretty sloppy, but Desmos really cleans up my act. And it's easy enough for me to type Desmos. Some other programs, it's hard to type. It takes a long time to type in an equation, but Desmos is nice. And I understand now Desmos is allowed on like SAT tests and stuff. So if you guys are taking standardized tests in the future and you know how to use Desmos, you're going to be in really good shape. Because even though they allow it, I hear that a lot of students don't use it. Like it's allowed, but they don't know what to do with it. So if you have to take an SAT or GRE or something and they let you use Desmos, then that sort of makes life a little easier. Okay, I'm done. If you think of anything, let me know. I'm hanging around because somebody wanted me to look at their grades. Otherwise, everyone else is free to go. Wait, did I take attendance today? I think I did. Let me just take attendance now. Hold on. And then you can go. It's not going to take long. What? Somebody left. Yeah. All right. I just need a copy. I just need the freaking screenshot. Okay. You know what? I'll just take it off the live stream. Okay. Take care. Have a good day.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
And
Have a good weekend. I'll see you next week.